Michael, do you want to start us off?
Sure, I'd be happy to. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for your all of your continued support. I'm going to kick things off to share some news that I can imagine makes everybody here feel extremely proud. And that is that we successfully completed the most ambitious campaign in the college's history, our DeFi Boundaries Comprehensive Campaign, and we completed it 365 days, 1 year early. And we surpassed the goal. The goal was originally 300 million, and we raised $317.5 million. And the impact that this comprehensive campaign will have on the Connecticut College community will be transformative. A lot of the impact will not be felt right away because a lot of these are pledges that will kick on in a couple of years. But when we take a look at the impact, over 150 million to augment Khan's endowment. Because Connecticut College has a relatively small endowment compared to peer colleges, that additional $150 million goes a long way. The $46 million for additional financial aid and scholarships is so important because we now have approximately 60% of Khan students receiving a financial aid package, and the average financial aid package is about $48,000. And that makes sure that when Khan students, when they graduate, there are as little student loans as possible. I can share that the Connecticut College Fund, which of course all of our CGOs have been keyed into, had a goal of $45 million and surpassed that goal at $46.2 million. Again, 67 million to physical improvements around campus. Those are all over. One of the most notable is the waterfront, and really investing in our unique position as the only school like us with a physical location on the water, and what that means for Camel athletics, academics, health and wellness, all types of recreation going on down there. And then again, 22 million to support equity and inclusion initiatives. So again, a super successful campaign. And now that we're in post-campaign, like a lot of schools going into post-campaign, the focus is on the Connecticut College Fund maintaining its strength, because of course the college relies on the Connecticut College Fund every year for its operating budget. We go to the next slide, please.
Yes. There we go.
Thank you. So as we kind of transition into the Connecticut College Fund, last year we raised 6.1 million. Our goal was $7 million, and 6.1 is right about what we had raised in 2019. Again, in fiscal year 22, we raised 6.85. In fiscal year 21, we raised 6.45 million. In fiscal year 20, we were at about 6.2, and in fiscal year 19, about 6.1. The reason why we dropped by approximately $750,000 as compared to fiscal year 22 was, and we have looked into this data, is that we took a long pause from engagement and fundraising in the spring, with a lot going on campus and in the community that we did not plan on. And when we take a look at the momentum that we had built up kind of through the end of the calendar year, and then taking that kind of break all the way through late April and effectively early May, we can go and see that that's where we lost a lot of our fundraising and participatory momentum. We had a goal of 5,000 alumni donors. for fiscal year 23, and we finished our year at 4,500 alumni donors. Interestingly, we did go and test out a few kind of pilot programs in May and June, including event-based fundraising, where we hosted events specifically for the purpose of encouraging attendees to give. And we saw close to 100% participation from those events. In fact, alumni who attended any event at Conn College last year, 63% of them gave a gift at some point in time to the college. And that is much higher than our baseline participation rate of approximately 18%. So again, kind of going and looking into how that event-based fundraising, that engagement, and really giving in a combined space can be effective for us to move fundraising and participation. We take a look at the next slide.
Yep. Oops, there we go.
Thank you. And our goal for fiscal year 24 is exactly what our goal was for fiscal year 23, and that's $7 million. And that will be a record-setting Connecticut College Fund, up from our high of 6.85 in fiscal year 22. The kind of breakdown for that $7 million is 6.1 million unrestricted, 150,000 to equity and inclusion initiatives, and 750,000 to the Camel Athletics Fund. For comparison, last year we raised about 130,000 for equity and inclusion and about 660,000 for Camel Athletics. I will say that that 660,000 for Camel Athletics, that was a record-setting fundraising Camel Athletics Fund for fiscal year 23. So that was a highlight. And again, we are leaning into some things that we did well and that proved to be effective. And I'm confident, and our CC Fund team is confident that we're going to be able to really effectively meet these goals. Of course, with the partnership of all of our CGOs and all of our alumni volunteers. We are currently at $1.7 million for our fiscal year 24. That's up from $930,000 on this date last year. So again, we're well in front of where we were at our current point in time last year. And we surpassed the 400 alumni donor mark earlier today. And we're outpacing where we were last year as well. And again, we set our goal at 5,000. Last year, we finished at 4,500. And again, I think that 5,000 is an achievable goal. And again, it's going to take effective partnership and outreach with all of our CGOs from all of our classes, and understanding that our younger alumni are really critical for our participation and our alumni donor count. And then, of course, our alumni who are currently 1911 Society members, or we're going to encourage them to be 1911 Society members, are especially important for our goal of $7 million. So that's kind of the breakdown for the Connecticut College Fund from fiscal year 23 and moving into fiscal year 24.
Thank you. So, like Michael said, we're off to a really strong start so far this year, but we have a long way to go, and we can't do it without all of you. So I know many of you have been CGOs for years or decades, so we're going to go over the responsibilities for the year. I know all of you know about these things already, so we're just going to go through them really quickly. So the first important thing you can do is support Connecticut College with your own gift. It's never too early in the year to start. And it sets a great example when you are asking for a gift to have that buy-in, to be able to say, will you join me? Contact your classmates. We will be providing you with class lists by next Friday, October 7th. They'll be sent by your class manager. Along with your lists, we'll also be sending out a toolkit with sample scripts. We'll have 4 CGO gatherings roughly throughout the year, at times where there are important events coming up for the campus, important fundraising touch points throughout the year, like Giving Tuesday, Camel Giving Day, and ahead of reunion next year. We asked you to help us review class communications. The first class letter is ready, and your class manager will be sending it to you by this Friday. So you'll be hearing from them. Edits are due back on Tuesday, October 10th. And we always love when you share, like, comment, repost Connecticut College's social media. So there's a general timeline. We have sent 1 appeal to alumni already in the mail that has gotten great feedback so far. We've already been having gifts roll in. Next up will be the class gift officer letter that goes out annually in the fall. We'll have a push for Giving Tuesday in November and a end of calendar year appeal. Next March, we'll have spring giving challenge appeals and then the end of fiscal year. So one thing that I wanted to share with you guys tonight is that the Alumni Board Development Committee is going to be helping out with strengthening the CGO program this year. The committee chair, Tom Anderson, is really excited to help us grow the program and grow engagement as well. So the committee has 13 members this year. I think we have 3 on the call. Jen Mann, Mario Lorenzi, and Rich Vansel. So they're all from this cohort. If you guys want to wave, say hi. There's Rich. Great. I know it's kind of hard to see with the slides up here. So there are 2 goals for the year related to the CGO program are to help with check-ins and support and recruitment. So they're going to be trying to target classes that don't have volunteers to help with class fundraising. And also they're going to check in with people around their graduating class cohort, see what kind of support you need, if there's anything you need from the college that you're not getting. So we're really excited about that this year, and you'll be hearing more this fall. Michael, do you have anything else to share about that?
No, I don't have anything to share in addition, simply echoing what Emily said, and that's that I'm so grateful for all the help that we can get to build out and to strengthen our CGO program. When we take a look at our peer colleges across the country, it's the number of active fundraising volunteers that positively correlates to increased alumni participation and a larger annual fund. So investing in our alumni fundraising volunteers is the most important long-term investment I think we can make. So I'm super grateful.
All right, so moving on along, we have a couple of events coming up soon. Fall weekend is just around the corner, October 6th and 7th. Excited to see any of you who are coming to campus. If you could share things on social media, that would be great. If you're here, encouraging your friends and classmates to make a gift. Also during fall weekend, there's going to be a kickoff of the celebration for Unity House's 50th anniversary. So marking 50 years of Unity House on campus. There is going to be a fundraising effort throughout the year to raise $100,000 for Unity House programs that you'll be hearing more about, but we are interested in getting a couple of interested CGOs involved outside of their regular class duties. So if you are interested, let us know. During fall weekend, there's going to be a reception, a workshop, a open house at the library with an exhibit about the history. So there'll be lots to do, but there'll still be more events this year. And these are the class assignments. They've shifted a little bit this year, but most of you will have either Michael Spicer, Becky, or me as your class managers. So thank you for bearing with us on all of that. And we wanted to open up the floor to see if you all had any questions, things that are on your mind. We'd love to hear from you.
Hi, this is Jen. Not a question, but I just wanted to comment that this is really organized and laid out. In addition to being able to invite classmates to return to campus for fall weekend, we appreciate and know that it's not always convenient to get to New London on a weekend in October. So there are a lot of events coming up, some in the same cities where they've been and others in some new pockets of the country. That is going to be around the week of October 24th, I think is our date.
I think that's right, yeah.
Yep. And then we also have a lot of events beyond the traditional holiday parties that are coming up in December too. So stay tuned for a lot more info, but you'll soon be seen and be able to amplify the registration links for the October events around the country. Thanks.
Yes, thank you, Jen. I think they're in, so it's like a series of events called Campbell's Connect all on the same day. And they're in New York, Boston, Durham, North Carolina. I was surprised to see on the list and a few other places, but thank you for bringing that up. All right, Rich.
Hi. Yeah, you mentioned at the top of the call that you'd like all the CGO folks here to lead with their own gift. And I just wanted to mention, as a alumni board member, we also are committed and we all give annually. But in addition to the money, we are also, this will be my 4th year on the board, all signing up for a specific outreach commitment, not like do it if you can or whatever, but really tasked with hard numbers on making outreach to a quantified number of classmates from our own class year, and also a targeted list of potential what we used to call in business the high pos, the high potentials that might be targeted for 1911 society type giving. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you, Rich.
We are really grateful for that.
Yeah, and again, I think everybody here has heard it before, but I'd like to say it again, and that's that peer-to-peer outreach is so much more effective than outreach from staff or institutional outreach. For example, when we see our Libunts, alumni who gave last year, but unfortunately have not yet made a gift this year, our retention rate last year was 73%, which is pretty high. But when Libunts hear from peers, when they hear from classmates or fellow alumni or alumni who share a specific affinity, like Tamil athletics or a cappella, that retention rate goes well over 80%. And in fact, if we take a look at just industry numbers, alumni are 3 times more likely to make a gift when asked by a peer than when asked by the institution. So that personal outreach that you're talking about, Rich, and that Donna and Dave took your class from about, 30% to over 60% participation last year, where everybody heard from someone, that makes that helps to go and move our needle in a big way. So I just wanted to say that out loud about the personal outreach. Thank you.
Can I ask a question? So our class has a lot of CGOs, so that's not an issue for us. But one of them sent me the athletic outreach, the athletic networking letter that went out from Mo White, because I wasn't an athlete at con. I was sequestered in the dance studio, so I never get any of the fundraising letters from the athletic department. However, our class has a large number of athletes, and we are having somebody inducted into the Hall of Fame fall weekend. I knew, and that I announced to our class via an email blast and on our Facebook page, but I didn't know that they were making a fundraising campaign centered around her, and she now makes the 7th Hall of Fame member our class has. So it would have been really helpful for us to know that, so we could have built a personalized campaign for our class around that. So how is it going forward that the CGOs from our class can be included in those athletic emails, even though I'm not signaled as an athlete? But if I'm aware of those campaigns, I can sort of I can shadow them, because there are people that we speak to that specifically are on the do not solicit list, but we can reach them.
Right. No, that's a really good point, Noelle. And that was clearly a blind spot, I think, for our office. Shelby and I have been kind of at the forefront of that, and we've been keeping this really segmented to the athletic community so that people are not being inundated with a number of asks. That being said, active CGOs need to be aware of all of the communications going on so that they can know what to tailor for specific individuals in their class or their class at large. So I can see Shelby taking some notes. I'm taking it on down to Noelle. And I'm just going to say that for all of our specific asks, we're going to make sure that CGOs are aware at large. And we'll make sure that you are, because, of course, the class of 1989 is so active. But we need to do that in mass, because I'm sure that there's other folks who would have been able to take that kind of information and get some good mileage out of it. So I apologize. That was kind of short-sightedness on kind of my part. I'm sorry.
No, there's no need to apologize. When I saw it, I totally understand that it was a complete market segmentation and that you're trying not to inundate alumni with email ask after ask after ask. However, because there are so many athletes in our class and so many Hall of Fame members, I kind of wanted to be able to celebrate it, but the deadline's next week. So I took her email and ripped it and crafted it. So I have somebody proofing it now. So we'll do a blast out by the end of this week, and hopefully we can help drive it as well, because the non-athletes in our class want to celebrate their classmates. So.
Of course, it totally makes sense. Thank you for being nimble, and we'll be more conscious next time around.
Thank you.
And I think Ben had a
picking up-
question. Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, picking up on that point, I think there is a huge opportunity for us to figure out a way, or for your office to figure out a way, how to courtesy copy us on kind of everything so that we know stuff is going out. Some things apply, some things don't, but generally, as somebody who's been on the board for a few years and serving on the development committee, I actually would love to see the volume of targeted messages that do go out, just so I know what things my classmates might be seeing and when. Might be helpful. But that was really well said, Noelle, too.
Yeah, definitely. That's absolutely something we can look into. Yes, Ben.
I was just going to pick up on Michael's point about peer-to-peer fundraising is the most effective. I also like it personally when students call, and you hear from students, you're able to engage in a quick phone call with a current student. I don't know if your numbers bear bear the point that that is effective, but it's certainly, for me, that's effective. I also, a second point was, I keep hearing about how well the class of '89 and some other classes are doing in terms of their overall participation and their overall dollar amount. I'd just like to find out what's going on with those classes that we can replicate. We've got a 45th anniversary coming up, and maybe that's not appropriate for a large Zoom call like this, but maybe I could talk to Noel and some other members of '89 to hear more about what you're doing that I can copy.
Then Chip has my number, my phone number, because
Yeah.
I've spent hours on the phone with him discussing what we do. You can call me whenever you want.
Okay. Okay. If Chip and you have already talked, maybe maybe he can be my first phone. What's that? He can be my first phone call, but yeah, thank you for the offer.
If it's okay, if either Dave or Donna might, for a couple of minutes, talk to the activity in their class last year that took a participation rate that's historically been about 27 to 30% and increased it to over 60% for the year. If either Dave or Donna could kind of speak to some of the activity and what that kind of looked and felt like, because I felt that was extremely effective.
Well, I can start. We had a really large group of volunteers last year, which helped and kind of broke down the class so that we tried to reach every single person in our class, and I think repeatedly. And it was hard because a lot of people were just unfindable. And we researched and we had all kinds of search engines that we tried. In fact, I got a letter back this week from somebody I had sent to in May and got it back returned undeliverable. So we just kept at it and just kept at it. I think all year. We started probably in September and just had constant meetings and just kept calling and writing. I found personally that people weren't always taking phone calls. A handful would call me back, but it was like just phoning and texting if possible, handwriting letters. Dave?
I think you're still on mute, Dave. There we go.
There we go. Yeah, to Donna's point, start early. Don't wait till the 50th. Don't wait till the 40th. Keep after your lost list and keep making sure that your contact informations are up to date. I don't want to say we wasted, but we spent a lot of time trying to find people, and we probably started that project too late. It's something you have to keep doing. And the other point is to have more than one person try and contact. The more efforts, the better. You never know who people are going to be triggered by in terms of old friends. So do keep that up. I apologize. I have to get off the call right now, but hopefully I'll see some of you folks at Fall Weekend.
Thanks, Dave.
Yes, thank you, Dave and Donna. Let's see. Mario asked a question in the chat and said, given the success of event-based fundraising, do we have any plans to repeat these activities? We absolutely do. We're going to be putting together some plans to increase those this year. We don't have anything solid to share yet, but we will share it with you all when we do.
And something that I will say is that Mario has been a champion here in terms of kind of saying that he would be open to hosting events that encouraged alumni to give back. If any other CGOs or any other volunteers, in fact, we've had other alumni fundraising volunteers who are not CGOs who've also said that they would be welcome or open to hosting events that encourage their fellow alumni to give back. Please know that we are absolutely open to that, and we will partner with you in however we can to make sure it is the best outcome for everyone. So Mario, thank you. I know you've been at it for a while. We're seeing some positive outcomes, and we'll continue to do it. And like we heard from Noel and Jen, we will share those out with all of our CGOs, so it's not only kind of that kind of segment of the market.
Any other thoughts from anyone? Great. Well, if no one else has anything else that they want to talk about, then we can go ahead and call it an evening. Thank you all for joining us. I'm excited to work with you all this year. And as a reminder, you'll be hearing from the CC Fund team a couple of times in the next 2 weeks with the class letters to get your feedback and with class lists so that you can get a move on. All right. Thank you all for being here tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Have a good night.